If you're looking to improve your gameplay in PUBG Mobile, then here are 10 settings that you should be using. Setting number 1 will give you a faster reaction time. In PUBG Mobile, having a fast reaction time is very important, especially when you're fighting inside buildings, because inside a building, if you have a fast reaction time, then you'll be able to easily spot your enemies when they're pushing you. But many people have a low reaction time in PUBG Mobile because they can't see their enemies properly. That's why they lose a lot of games even if their aim is fantastic. So to avoid this from happening, go to your graphics settings and scroll down until you see an option that says brightness, and then make sure to set the brightness to 160%, and you'll notice a significant difference on the visibility of your enemies. But now let's move on to setting number 2, and this setting will allow you to play more aggressively. In order to play aggressive in PUBG Mobile, you need to make sure that you can do movements like jumping over windows, because movements like this will surprise your enemies and increase the chance of you winning the fight. But when you try to do this without setting number 2, your character starts climbing the window instead of jumping. This is because your jump button disappears and turns into a climb button, which is very annoying. So in order to fix this problem, go to your advanced control settings and find a setting that says jump/climb and change it to separate. And now you'll have a separate button for climbing, so you can jump whenever you want. Moving on to setting number 3, this is a setting that really helped me get a lot more kills. If you want to get more kills when your enemy is far away from you, then you have to use different kinds of scopes, because obviously a scope will make it way easier for you to aim at your enemies when they're at long range. But if you ever try to do this, then you know that it takes way too long to go to your backpack and then switch your scopes. This is bad because your enemy might be gone by the time you're done switching. That's why you have to turn on a setting called the quick scope switch to make this switching faster. After turning it on, you can tap on this icon to switch to different scopes without going to your backpack, which is amazing. Let's move on to setting number 4, and this setting is extremely important for surviving longer in the game. Normally when you're fighting your enemies, your whole body is exposed, meaning that there's a higher chance of you dying. But in PUBG Mobile, there is a way to expose only half of your body by using a movement called peeking. You can peek from walls and other objects without having to worry about getting killed. In order to do this, you have to go to your control settings and then scroll all the way down until you see a setting that says peek. Make sure to enable this setting and you'll be able to peek from walls when you're inside the game. But this is only the start, because setting number 5 and 6 is even better. When I was a beginner in PUBG Mobile, I used to die a lot more compared to some of my buddies, and I solved this by using 2 powerful settings that helped me become more aware of my surroundings. The first one is my FOV, and I used to keep my FOV to the default settings, but you shouldn't do that, because having the default FOV makes you see less area of the map compared to having a higher FOV. Without a higher FOV, you can't really see your enemies when they're extremely close to you, so it's important to keep your FPP and TPP FOV to the max. The second thing I did to become more aware of my surroundings is that I used setting number 6. When you're playing in first-person view, your weapon might be blocking your screen, which again is gonna make your enemies less visible, but setting number 6 lowers your weapon and gives you a more clear view of your enemy. This setting is called the FPP dynamic hold, and you can find it on the advanced control settings, so make sure to turn it on. Now let's move on to setting number 7, and this one allows you to make quick scopes. If you want to make a quick scope with a marksman rifle, then you have to scope in and shoot faster than most other people, because if you're slow at shooting, then you're giving your enemy more time to react. Especially if you're using the default settings, your marksman rifle doesn't even scope in when you press the fire button, which is not ideal for quick scoping. So go to your settings and change the bolt action rifle from tap to release, and now if you press the fire button, your weapon will scope in, and when you release it, it will fire. This is the best and fastest way to make quick scopes. But let's move on to setting number 8, and this setting will improve your aim. Your crosshair plays a very important role in making your aim better in PUBG Mobile, because without the crosshair, you can't even tell where you're gonna be aiming. Unfortunately, sometimes you can't even see your crosshair because it blends in with the background, and yeah, it can be very confusing. So what I recommend doing is that you should go to your crosshair settings and then change the color from white to red. This way, it doesn't matter what you're doing inside the game, your crosshair will always be visible on your screen. Moving on to setting number 9, this one will help you survive the blue zone. When you're inside the blue zone, you need to use either bandages or energy drinks, because bandages and energy drinks takes only 4 seconds to consume compared to the 8 seconds of the medkit. But the problem is that the game will always recommend you to use the medkit when your health is below 50%, and that is not something you want to deal with when you're inside the storm. But if you go to the advanced control settings and turn off a setting called the healing pump, then this problem will be fixed forever. So now you don't have to manually switch to your bandages, it's always going to be there. But now let's move on to number 10, and this one will decrease the lag on your game. One of the biggest reasons why you face lag in PUBG Mobile is because your Wi-Fi or mobile data is acting weird, and that causes you to have a higher ping, and that makes you lag. But you can fix this by using an app like Gear Up Booster, which significantly makes the quality of your gameplay a lot better. Gear Up Booster connects you to a faster server and reduces the latency of your game so you don't face any lag. I'll make sure to leave the link to download this app on the description, so make sure to try it out. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.